Ziggity Zig back with more Griffventures of Griff. Here goes Griff down here with the... Oh, that was an interesting split. I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but lost the race between that guy, Griff, down here, and the bottom of Metalopolis and Guizmo. So he's a small, fluffy, pre-gremlin form, but it's possible he is from a Latino state. No, I'm not trying to be terribly stereotypical there. However, this game is simply titled 4-Gate Warp Prism. Now, with the starting positions here, this is actually, once he scouts that's a pretty easy attack by air to do, so I can pretty much see how and why he chose to do that. That is an interesting place for a pylon placement, but that does serve numerous purposes, so I actually really agree with that. That's pretty cool. It's covering his gate, so he has most of the vision there. At least I think he's got most of the vision. Oh, and a clockwise scout is going to have him search that and find it without any problem, so he gets his first scout in. And what does he see? He sees no gas. And what happens when you see no gas? Oh, that's some interesting. What is he doing there? He's bouncing out all over the place. And oh, what's this? He decides, do you go back to your home base when you're being followed? No, you lead him away from your base. You lead him to make him think that you actually live somewhere else, and he gives up. But continues to make just a barracks. Just a barracks? Is that all that's going to happen here, leading up towards just a small little fight around here, taking on a bit of a merry-go-round all over the place. The barracks is almost done. The first gateway is not quite almost done. However, Griff is now going to get a pylon, watching himself up in this corner. I also really like this. So he can warp in units on the high and the low ground. So he has two opportunities for both in base and on the low ground warp-ins. This particular wall in by Guizmo is pretty much done, at least it'll be stopping anything, and decides to get the refinery, so doesn't seem to be adding an extension onto... Oh, already rallying the Marines to here. Well, that's curious, because he hasn't actually scouted, so that's just sort of a guess, isn't it? Yeah, he's just sort of guessing. Intriguing. So I wonder what happens when he runs into the first zealot. Oh, he might beat the first zealot. This is not going to go well, but Griff has decided to chrono boost. Chrono, and the Marine comes up and says, hey, there's no one here. Oh, wait, there is. And the zealot runs so fast his ponytail waves in the breeze. Look at that. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, there's me just playing around with settings. So, the two gates getting set up. These two are still having a little runaround, while Guizmo is still trying to scout things out. But now he knows where everything is. Grabs one of the towers, starts his scout. Second barracks coming down, deciding to get a reactor. So, reactor, well, there's the factory, but barracks reactor to gas. Unless he's planning on going siege tank. Siege tank Marine, chances are. Griff. Oh, bad news there. He gets a stuck zealot. Ah, that's no good. What that is a waste of... yeah, that is just a waste of resources right there. So there's another gateway and another robo facility up in the back there. Scoring out of his two factories, so he is doing alright on gas. He's definitely going to be getting quite a bit of gas there. Needs to chrono that. Cyber core just a little bit faster. And, oh, tech coming in. Combat shield. More Marines. Yep, keeping with the Marines. Nothing happening in the factory just yet. So all this gas, I don't quite know where that's going. Because we got... Both of these barracks are now just kind of popping out of there. He is... Aha! So here comes the starport. So maybe it was just getting ready for some starport and some... Man, these two are still having this... Oh, there we go. So Griff's just kind of leading them around. Meanwhile, small series of units at the front. Griff deciding to get out the warp prism right away. So there you go. So a Robogate and a 4-gate. Deciding on that, but also deciding not to move any of the units forward. And moving the warp gate over here. Oh, I see. So he picks up all 4 of them. No more units. It's a very... Ooh, Griff is definitely losing a bit of a battle here. These two still playing a bit of merry-go-round. Guizmo not moving out with his single two Marines. You heard me, I just said that. But he's got 10 Marines in the base. Griff knows where he's at. And he's about to come in with his warp prism while he's not building anything behind himself, just filling up on minerals. Not worried about that at all. Trying to get into a spot where... Oh! Can't be seen. No idea what's going on. So Griff has got lots of space to warp in, possibly 2 rounds. He gets 4 stalkers, so 4 stalkers, 4 and 4 zealots. Guizmo's frontline units are pretty much ready to get into town, and here they come. Probably able to clean up. Definitely able to clean up the zealots. The stalkers are in just the right place. Griff's probably ready for another warp in here, so he could continue messing with this. Laying the hurt down, screwing with quite a bit of economy. The worker supply is... he's managed to take a few out, but it looks... taking out 11, and... Oh! Managed to squeeze in amongst these Marines, and the Marines are just not going to be able to survive through this. Griff getting... Oh, he does fortify the front gate, which is a good way to do things, just in case. And, oh, starting to look bad. Starting to look pretty bad. But there are only a couple of attacking units left. Warps in another 4, so now he's up to 5. Even it up, and I believe he's up against how many Marines? Just a few, but they are being healed, and the SCVs are getting in on the party as well. Griff decides to take out the medevac, which is an interesting choice, and now he just sort of moves around, gets another warp in of zealots, and that could pretty much be all she wrote, but another small contingency of units comes down here for Guizmo. Griff sticking to this battle, sticking to this fight, and Guizmo finally just leaves it. Well, that's kind of interesting, because at that point, what was the income level? Guizmo was, yeah, he was collecting no gas whatsoever. He was still trying to make a bit of Marines, but I think his tech wasn't quite there. He had just finished his stim, or it was just about to finish. He's got 2 Marines down here, none up at the top, so an 8 to a 16, but most of it is 1 stalker and 3 zealots in his main. Let's have a look at the APM tab. Oh, Griff's stomping all over him with a 34 to 23. I don't know. It seemed like Griff was behind. This is the problem when I play games against Griff. He gets this cool, nifty little advantage. We played a game where I scouted his warp prism coming at me, and then he rope-a-doped and went the other way. He set a couple of units where I thought he was going to be, so I thought, oh, this is how I'm taking care of it, and then he pincers me from the other side. He's really good at these interesting tactics. This one wasn't like the most interesting tactic you've ever seen, but he gets really good at the luck factor, because he had that group of Marines moved out a little bit earlier with a little bit of scouting and come down here, probably would have taken out, I mean, he was down to something like 4 zealots versus 10 Marines, and that's a bad equation while the warp prism was out in midair. Of course, that would have wastified this, and it would have turned into a base race, and that's never quite as exciting. But going into the base, the two of them did pretty well there. Griff could have microed a little bit more, but oh my goodness, the loser on the micro was definitely Guizmo with his units, because that many Marines should have cleaned up those zealots quickly and handily if you're already good. But if you're like me, then you're not. That's the simplicity there. Leave me a message, comment, or send me an email, ziggityzig@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter @ZiggyStarcraft. For more Griff Ventures of Griff, stick around here to see me and Griff play together and have a good time. Go on and check out our other channel, Lime Not Lemon, over on our YouTube channel. Stay tuned.